And I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Tis I, the native patriot, and as you can tell from the title of the video down below, up above, and by what's down right here, I wanted to talk about something that's kind of hilarious to me, kind of annoying at the same time, and further walk us through this whole discussion. But basically, let's read it together here, which is Canada's Indigenous health expert Carrie Bourassa, which is this chick here, loses job when ancestry claims prove false. So basically, this chick here lied about being Native American, although I think Canada calls their Native American people the First Nations. But anyway, she lied about being Indigenous or Native American, and this kind of stuff just really irritates the crap out of me. Another person that comes to mind when we think about this is old Elizabeth Warren here. So this is a registration card from the State Bar of Texas that she filled out, and she listed American Indian as her race. So why I wanted to talk about this, first of all, by the title of my channel, The Native Patriot, I am Native American, and I'm not the pretend kind like this chick down here. I'm not the pretend Native American like this chick over here. I'm not the pretend Native American like this chick over here. I'm an actual Native American, 100% Navajo, from New Mexico, and I actually spent a couple years of my childhood on the reservation, about a couple years. And so I know firsthand what it's like to actually live on the reservation and the conditions that are on the reservation. So this thing kind of just irritates the hoo-ha out of me because, as my channel name suggests, the Native Patriot, I have the American flag here because I consider myself to be patriotic, and I identify as someone on the right politically who loves this country. And to people that are on the left, like I'm assuming this chick here is on the left, definitely she's on the left. And you know, we can even bring up Rachel Dolezal, who pretended to be a black person, and I am pretty sure Shaun King is not black either. So all of these people on the left like to talk about racism all the time and how it's such a big deal in the United States or in Canada or in the West in general, including Europe, how racism is this big deal and white supremacy is a big deal, and all of these things, right? And as someone who identifies on the right, I do know that racism exists and probably will unfortunately always exist to some small degree, but I don't think the United States is as racist as these people on the left make it out to be. So what this thing kind of proves to me is that these people don't really believe in what they're kind of pushing out there. And what I mean by that is, if the United States specifically is as hostile to non-white people, if it's as hostile to minorities, if it truly is that hostile to be a minority, why would you pretend to be a minority, right? I don't understand that. And what I don't understand even more, this is probably a separate rant, but I'm Native American, and unfortunately there are a lot of Native Americans that tend to vote on the left and for people on the left continuously, even though you have people like Elizabeth Warren that push all of this race hustling bullcrap, and it's quite frustrating sometimes because it's like, wouldn't you, like, how do these people just get a pass is basically how I feel, you know? Why is it okay for them to be pretending to be Native American or to be a minority of some sort? Because it just does not make sense to me. Because if what they say is true, that white supremacy is a big deal in the United States, wouldn't you want to be white? You know, wouldn't you want to be in the protected class of being a white person if it's that bad to be a minority in this country? If it's bad, if it's hard to be or difficult to be a minority in this country, why would you pretend to be a minority? You know, I don't really believe, I don't believe in white privilege, like at all, you know? And I used to say that I don't even believe in any racial privilege, but I'm starting to believe in minority, non-white privilege because of this exact thing, that these people on the left are pretending to be minorities because it brings some kind of privilege to who they are. You know, they get brownie points. They get to be like, oh, you must have struggled because you're a minority. You know, I, I, it does not make sense to me one bit. And this is just another case of someone being pretending to be Native American. And you know, it's even more, what's that word? Like insulting, because this chick here is like, um, she does like this TED talk, I think, and she's dressed in this Native American attire, and she called herself like Morning Star Bear or something, and it's basically like they're openly mocking us and mocking our culture and actually culturally appropriating our culture. But unfortunately, it seems that Native Americans, some Native Americans out there that continuously vote for people on the left, they don't care. You know, like they complain about cultural appropriation, but if it's Elizabeth Warren doing it, they don't seem to care that much. You know, if it's people on the left, they don't seem to be caring that much. I could be wrong, but it's just really, really upsetting to me, and it just, all of it just does not make sense to me. And without continuing to ramble here on the internet, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that probably feel the same way, that don't say these things out loud because you don't want to get in an argument with anybody or whatever. But that's mainly why I started this channel specifically, is because I wanted to say things that I'm sure other people are thinking besides myself. You know, we just say it quietly and not in public because we don't want to get called all of these names. But you know, sometimes that gets irritating, and that's why I made this channel. But I'm going to stop it there. If you made it towards the end of this video, follow me on social media at The Native Patriot, on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, I will see you guys later, and I look forward to your comments in the comments section below. Bye.